Hey guys, we're going to work on factoring today. We're going to use the method of GCF, which is greatest common factor. So let's get started with that. We're going to have branches here. This one's going to say 2 terms. And this one right here will say 3 terms. And this one right here basically is a squared minus b squared. And this means a plus b in parentheses and a minus b in parentheses, just like that. So next we're going to do what the 3 terms mean, and we're going to make branches like this, and this means x squared plus bx plus c. And then we have our formula, which we're going to use in the tic-tac-toe method, ax squared plus bx plus c. Sorry, that's kind of bad, but that's plus c right there. And we know that c whose sum, so factors of c whose sum equals b. So that's kind of the term that we're going to use during this whole process. So we're going to delete that, and we're going to start off with an example with tic-tac-toe. We're going to use the example of 10x squared plus 13x minus 3. And this column equals A, C, and this one equals A times C, just like that. So our A is going to be 10. We're going to leave off the x squared and this x also. Next, we're going to put the negative 3. And next we're going to do A times C, which is 10 times negative 3, which equals negative 30. So now we come around to our B. So our B, we're not actually going to put this in the tic-tac-toe, but it is very important still. So how are we going to get 13 and we're going to get negative 30? Well, we have to do our factors, because these are going to be both factors of 30, but this plus this is going to equal 13. So how are we going to do that? Well, first, we're going to have to make a little side note here. So negative 1 times 3 times 30 equals 30, but it doesn't equal 13 when you add it together. Next, we'll do negative 2 times 15, which equals 13, and it equals negative 30 also. So we're going to use that. So we're going to put the negative 2, and then we're going to put the 15. And we usually put the least in the least common number, the least, and the greatest right here, just like that. So next we're going to use, they're also going to be factors. So what equals 10, but what also equals 15 right here? Well, we know 1 times 10, and then we have 2 times what? Times 5. So that could equal 15, and that equals great with this. So we're going to do 2 times 5. Next, we're going to do 5 times what equals 15? Well, we know that 5 times 3 equals 15. So we're going to put a 3 there. So next, we have a 2 right here and a blank. So how are we going to get 2 to get negative 2? And how are we going to get 3 to get negative 3? Well, we're going to put a negative 1, because 2 times negative 1 equals 2, and 3 times negative 1 equals negative 3. So now we're going to put this into a formula form. We're going to do 2x plus 3 in parentheses, and in other parentheses, it's going to be 5x minus 1. And these will actually be right next to each other, so I can show you guys that real quick. So 2x plus 3 in parentheses, and it's going to be times 5x minus 1, just like that. And that's just going to be your finishing answer. So I'm going to show you guys real quick how I got that. Well, you know, we have our tic-tac-toe method, and we have 10, negative 3, negative 30, negative 2, 5, negative 1, 3, 5, and 2, just like that. So now, let me use a different color so you guys can know what I'm talking about. So you're going to, oh, I'm just kidding. That color didn't work. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to use that. We're going to cross with the 2 and the 3, and then we're going to cross the 5 and the negative 1. So since this is basically the x column, we're going to use 2x, just like I showed you in the formula. So it's going to be 2x, and we're going to do plus 3, because this is positive. So we're going to use whatever the number is, positive or negative. And we're going to put that in parentheses because we're going to multiply it by the 5, and we're going to put an x because it's in the x column, and we're going to do minus 1 in parentheses. And these will actually be right next to each other like I showed you earlier. So this is a great example of the factoring method.